Vincent Pastore was the kind of actor who made audiences believe they were watching a real mobster instead of a performer. His unforgettable portrayal of Salvatore, Big Pussy, Bonpensiero in The Sopranos became one of television's most iconic crime characters, yet the truth behind the man was surprisingly different. Off-screen, Pastore was known by colleagues as generous, humorous, deeply loyal to friends, and someone who never forgot the difficult road that led him to Hollywood. His story is filled with unexpected twists, fascinating personal details, and real-life experiences that proved he was much more than the tough guy image he portrayed. Vincent Pastore was born on July 14, 1946, in the Bronx, New York City, to an Italian-American family. Although many people associate him with organized crime because of his acting roles, his upbringing was that of a working-class New York family. He spent much of his childhood growing up in New Rochelle, where he developed the unmistakable Bronx accent that later became one of his trademarks on screen. One of the lesser-known facts about Pastore is that acting was never his original career plan. After high school, he enlisted in the United States Navy during the Vietnam War era. Military service gave him discipline and maturity before he eventually attended Pace University using the GI Bill. Few fans realize that he studied drama there long before Hollywood ever noticed him, although he would not pursue acting seriously until much later in life. For nearly 3 decades, Pastore lived an entirely different life. Instead of movie sets, he spent his days running nightclubs in New Rochelle. Those clubs unexpectedly became the turning point of his career because actors Matt Dillon and Kevin Dillon were regular customers. They encouraged him to give acting a chance, believing his authentic New York personality belonged on screen. That simple encouragement changed the course of his life forever. His transition into acting happened remarkably late. While many actors spend their 20s chasing auditions, Pastore entered the profession in his 40s. He often joked that he had already lived several lives before becoming an actor. That life experience helped him bring realism to every role, particularly the streetwise characters that became his specialty. One hidden story from his early acting days became a favorite among fans. Before achieving success, Pastore worked as a taxi driver while taking small acting jobs. One of his earliest television appearances featured him portraying a criminal on America's Most Wanted. After the episode aired, one of his taxi passengers actually reported him to the cab company because she believed the criminal she had seen on television was driving her around New York. The misunderstanding became one of the funniest stories of his career and demonstrated just how convincing he already was as an actor. Long before The Sopranos, Pastore appeared briefly in classic crime films such as Goodfellas, Carlito's Way, and the HBO movie Gotti. Although those were relatively small roles, casting directors quickly recognized that he possessed an authenticity difficult to teach. Instead of pretending to understand New York street culture, Pastore had actually lived it. His defining breakthrough arrived when HBO cast him as Salvatore, Big Pussy Bonpensiero. The character was one of Tony Soprano's closest friends, making his eventual betrayal among the most emotional storylines in television history. Interestingly, despite leaving the series after the second season, Pastore's performance remained one of the emotional foundations of the show's entire run. Flashbacks and constant references kept his character alive long after his final appearance. One fascinating behind-the-scenes fact involves the secrecy surrounding Big Pussy's fate. Pastore knew his character would be killed before almost anyone else. Rather than sharing the surprise with friends or reporters, he reportedly revealed the secret only to his daughter, Renee. When the episode finally aired, audiences were genuinely shocked because almost nobody involved had leaked the ending. Away from cameras, Vincent Pastore's personal life remained relatively private. He was married to Nancy Burke, although the marriage eventually ended in divorce. Despite the separation, he remained devoted to their daughter, Renee Pastore, who frequently spoke about the close relationship they shared. Unlike many celebrities, Pastore rarely discussed romantic relationships publicly after his divorce, choosing instead to keep that aspect of his life away from media attention. One common rumor over the years suggested that Pastore's intimidating personality reflected his real character. Friends and fellow actors consistently contradicted that perception. Cast members regularly described him as warm, approachable, generous with fans, and eager to mentor younger performers entering the industry. The contrast between his fearsome on-screen image and his genuine personality became one of the reasons so many colleagues admired him. Another interesting fact is that he embraced reality television without taking himself too seriously. Many dramatic actors avoided unscripted television, but Pastore appeared on reality programs and stage productions because he genuinely enjoyed entertaining audiences in different ways. His willingness to laugh at himself made him popular beyond crime drama fans. Music also became an unexpected passion later in life. Many people knew him only as an actor, yet he enjoyed performing with a rock band called Gangster Squad, blending music with storytelling and comedy during live appearances. It reflected his belief that entertainers should continue exploring new creative outlets regardless of age. Health challenges entered his life as well. Pastore became a prostate cancer survivor, later supporting awareness efforts and charitable causes connected to health and veterans organizations. Rather than keeping his experience secret, he used it to encourage regular screenings and support fundraising events. His charitable work often escaped headlines because he preferred quiet generosity. Friends recalled that he regularly supported police organizations, veterans, children's charities, and community events. Those close to him frequently mentioned that he tipped generously and helped aspiring actors whenever possible without expecting publicity in return. A long-standing rumor claimed that Pastore had real connections to organized crime because his performances felt so authentic. There has never been credible evidence supporting that claim. His convincing portrayals came from careful observation, his New York upbringing, and years spent around colorful personalities in the nightclub business, not from documented criminal involvement. It remains one of the most persistent misconceptions surrounding his career. Another misconception occasionally surfaced regarding his dating life after his divorce. Tabloid stories periodically speculated about relationships or breakups, but none developed into confirmed long-term public partnerships. Most reports remained unsupported, and Pastore himself generally chose not to comment on gossip involving his private life. One quality that colleagues admired was his gratitude. Having entered acting later than most performers, Pastore often reminded younger actors that success could arrive at any age. He believed perseverance mattered more than perfect timing, pointing to his own unlikely journey from nightclub owner to Emmy-recognized television actor as proof. During interviews, he also admitted that he never expected The Sopranos to become a cultural phenomenon. The cast recognized they were creating something special, but few anticipated that the series would redefine television storytelling and influence crime dramas for decades. Pastore remained grateful that his character became one of the show's emotional cornerstones. In 2026, attention surrounding Vincent Pastore shifted from career achievements to heartfelt tributes after his passing at the age of 80. Reports confirmed that he died at his home, prompting an outpouring of condolences from former castmates, fans, and friends throughout the entertainment industry. His funeral drew more than 100 mourners, including many from the Sopranos family, while his daughter Renee delivered an emotional tribute celebrating his kindness, generosity, military service, and enduring love for people. Current discussions surrounding Vincent Pastore are not driven by scandal or controversy, but by widespread appreciation for the legacy he left behind. Friends have continued sharing stories about his humor, compassion, and willingness to help others, reinforcing the image of a man who was very different from the dangerous characters he portrayed on screen. Vincent Pastore's life serves as a reminder that extraordinary careers sometimes begin unexpectedly. A Navy veteran, former nightclub owner, taxi driver, and late-blooming actor, he transformed decades of real-world experience into performances that audiences believed completely. His unforgettable work in The Sopranos guaranteed his place in television history, while the genuine warmth remembered by family, friends, and colleagues revealed the remarkable man behind one of fiction's most feared mobsters.